Headers and footers are text or text and graphics printed in the margins of every page of your document. Headers appear in the top margin and footers are printed in the bottom margins. Headers and footers can be as simple as a page number or as complex as a photograph or a logo. You can specify options for page numbers, headers and footers, including whether you want them to appear on the first page of a document or on odd and even pages. We'll start by inserting a simple page number. Go to the Insert tab, and we're going to be working with this header and footer group. And the page number allows us to position page numbers at the top or bottom of the page, in the page margins, or at the current position, which would assume that we're already in a header or footer. So if I simply want to put a page number that says page 1 at the top of every page in the upper right corner, I can simply choose that. And you'll notice that Word automatically opened up a header area in the margin and is showing me the header and footer tools. A different first page is automatically checked, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but we're on page 5 and we're seeing a page 5 header that's been applied with a page number. I'm going to undo this, and we're going to insert a different kind of a page number. We're going to insert at the top of the page what's called an X of Y page number. It's a page 1 of 5, page 5 of 25. We're simply going to insert that in the middle. These numbers are automatically calculated by Microsoft Word. If I add 8 more pages to the document, this will say page 5 of 32. Notice that even though I'm inserting page numbers, it's putting them in headers. Word doesn't really have anywhere else to put page numbers except in headers and footers. Let's return then to Insert, and let's insert a header, which is a little bit more than a page number. I'm going to go back to page number and say remove page numbers. Notice that they're all gone. And I'm going to choose header, and I'm going to choose a particular header. If I look at the list of headers, I'll find the same kinds of names that I would find in cover pages or in text boxes, these families of building blocks or design elements for my document. I want to choose a header from a family called Motion. And Motion actually comes with 2 headers and 2 footers, one for even pages and one for odd pages. If I only use one, it doesn't actually matter which I use because it's going to appear on every page. So I'm going to start by choosing this odd page header that will appear on the right-hand side. Notice that it's actually taken this information from section 1, the introduction, and it includes it as part of my header as well as the number 5. If I scroll down in my document to another section, I'll find, for example, that here it has section 4, Standards of Conduct. The information that's being put in the header, for example, the story behind 2 Trees Extra Virgin Olive Oil, is coming from my headings, yet another reason to use styles. I'm going to now switch and enter a footer. So here I have my heading 1 and a page number. Let's go to the footer and choose a corresponding footer out of the Motion set. I'm going to choose the odd page footer for Motion. There's a date picker that asks me to pick the date, and we're going to be publishing this handbook effective July 1st, so I'm going to choose July 1st, 2010. I'm going to close my header and footer, and you'll notice that at the bottom of the page I have a date, and at the top I have a page number and section information. Now, when I print this, I want to print this back to back on paper, and so let's go quickly look at a preview of how that will look. Notice that I'll have these design elements on the right-hand side of every page, but when I print this back to back, what I'd really like is I would like to have every other page the design elements on the left. In other words, here's my binding edge, so my page number sticks out, and the back side of that sheet, the even page would be my binding edge, and I would like this information over here. This is why we'd use odd and even headers and footers. Let's return back to Insert, and let's return to the header and footer. I can either choose Header, Edit Header, or to get there more quickly, I can just double-click in any header or footer. And I'm going to tell Word that I want to have different odd and even pages because of how this document is going to be printed and bound. I'm on an odd page. Word changes this to odd page header. If I scroll down to the bottom, odd page footer. And on the next page, I have an even page header, and you'll notice there's nothing in it yet. Let's go to Header and choose the corresponding header the even page header for motion. It asks me to type the document title, and I'm going to click and type 2 trees, olive oil, employee handbook. Now let's go to the footer. Here's my even page footer. And let's go pick up that motion footer for even pages. I'm not being asked for anything. It's using the date just like the odd page footer does. And so it's just copied that date from the odd page footer from that placeholder where I chose the date. So I'm going to go back to my preview now. And you'll notice now that the pages when printed, here's my binding edge. And here is my back side of a sheet and my front side of the sheet. And when the bound copy is opened, I have my headers and footers exactly where I would like them to be. One more thought. I can also determine whether I want to have a different first page here. Typically I do. The first page of many documents is a cover page, and so this is turned on automatically. But if I have, for example, a 3-page document without a cover page, I can simply turn off different first page, and when I do, it will inherit the odd page headers, or if I have only one set of headers, it will inherit the headers that I've specified elsewhere in my document. If I turn it off, I'll have the opportunity to put in different first page headers and footers. When you've finished editing or adding headers and footers, it's always a good idea to close the header and footer pane so that the header and footer tools are taken away. When you have more than 1 or 2 pages in your document, you'll want to add page numbers. But to add even more information and some professional design elements to the margins of your document, don't use simple page numbers. Use Word's header and footers feature.